Well, hello everyone. My name is Irvin Archer. I'm the current secretary for the student chapter of the Society of Petroleum Engineers, and today we have a special guest, Terry Polish, who is the current president of SPE International. And if you please would like to introduce yourself.
Sure. Thank you. It's great to be here. Again, my name's Terry Polish. I am the current 2024 SPE president. In my day job, I am the vice president of engineering and technology at Carbo Ceramics here in Houston.
Okay, that's great. And so we would like to as well say hi to Dr. Tucker, who he was the former president of SPE. So we have two presidents technically on this table. At the same time, here's Amina Durrani and Abdul Rahman, who are current members of the executive board of SPE, UH Student Chapter. So we would like to start to make some questions. And the first one is, how does SPE play a role in diversity and inclusion within the oil and gas industry?
Well, look, I think certainly diversity and inclusion is extremely important to us, as it is to the rest of the industry. We have programs that highlight diversity and inclusion. We have a work group that highlights that as well. So look, we're very supportive of that. If you were to look at our SP board, the international board right now, I think you would see in a very diverse and certainly inclusive demographics of our board, and that's something that we take very great pride in, and we try to make sure we do that, both demographically and gender and everything else.
That's great, that's perfect. What is the role of SPE in facilitating energy transition, and as students, what should we do regarding this matter?
Well, look, I think that the future, as we spoke about earlier, is going to require all forms of energy, and it's going to be very important that the world has the access to all forms, and we have options. Depending on where you live, is going to dictate how, what form of energy will probably be most important to you. But as engineers and technicians in our industry, what can we do? We can do several things. First of all, we need to continue to understand how are we going to supply the needs from an oil and gas perspective. But we also can take our expertise and our technologies to related sectors like geothermal or carbon capture and storage and sequestration, or even within our own disciplines, learning how to decarbonize our operations, electrify our frac fleets, things like that. So I think it's all of the above, and I think that that's how we will help continue to meet the world's energy needs, but also in a green and decarbonized manner.
Yeah. So, as you know, PetroWiki was inspired from Wikipedia, and now we have ChatGPT as of AI. SPE is currently working in something like ChatGPT, but exclusively for petroleum. So, like giving more and accurate information on petroleum basis.
Yeah, PetroWiki started, like you said. In fact, in my podcast I just did, we talked about PetroWiki. But yeah, like you said, it started back when we had the Petroleum Engineering Handbook, which we still have, and it was meant to be a resource. And we wanted PetroWiki to be a living document, or a living site, I guess, where we could, members could continue to update information and things like that. And we get hundreds of thousands of views of that every year of PetroWiki. The one challenge we do have is updating PetroWiki. Yeah. So that's where we really need help. And I think that really it's going to take help from all members to try to update that. But in the same line, like you talked about, then the question really becomes well, how does AI and large language models and things like that, how does that play into PetroWiki, or even things like One Petro and things like that? So look, right now we're currently looking at that. We're evaluating ways to, not just PetroWiki, but just the employment overall of AI and large language models into our offering to ultimately help our members become more technically savvy and meet their needs.
Dr. Tucker, would you like to add anything regarding that, since you have wrote many papers on the industry?
Sure. I think One Petro from SPE plays a very important role. And as we all know, One Petro, all the papers from One Petro are accessible to the students at practically no charge. So it helps us in doing research work, and you can download the papers, you can read those papers, and do a literature search thanks to people who sponsored One Petro for SPE. So One Petro, along with Petro Wiki, and now some with other machine learning tools that's coming up to SPE, I think it's a tremendous educational process for all of the members. And this is very important here in the developed countries. But in developing countries, before One Petro papers were not available to them at all. Now they can download those papers, read those papers. So the things that SPE is doing for students are just amazing. A membership is free, One Petro is free. When students go to any of the conferences, they are generally subsidized, at lower cost. So I would like to request all the students to take advantage of SPE. SPE is yours, and you are the future for SPE. And people like Terry and myself will be leaving the industry. You guys will be taking over, and you are the future of SPE. As you know, we have 127,000 members right now, and a lot of members are student members. So you play a very important role. I would also like to add a few things regarding the diversity in SPE. Do you know that we have more members internationally right now than from the North America? Our percent distribution of the membership has changed, and the same kind of things happen also on the board. And you will see several of the SPE presidents have been of international background also. So SPE, in my opinion, is truly international, and that is why we call it also SPE International. We don't call it SPE North America. We call it SPE International. So we're truly an international, diverse organization, and our purpose is to disseminate information and knowledge to all of our members, including the student members. So it's a great organization, but we, the presidents and the board members, we cannot do it alone. We need younger members like yourself to become very active and participate and help us. And don't wait for us to call you. You say, I want to volunteer. You participate yourself. And I am so proud for UH student members here. I work very closely with you now, and I am just delighted to be working with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you for those words. And of course, as you guys mentioned, PetroWiki and One Petro, as a student of petroleum engineering, it has helped me a lot to do research for projects, for homeworks, and even for presentations. It actually is really helpful, and the fact that it is free, actually it takes out a huge weight off our shoulders, because we're already paying a tuition, and then we have to pay for these other resources. But no, SPE has made it possible that it is free for all of us. It is out there. So really thank you to all of you.
Well, look, the students are the lifeblood of the society. So, and not just our industry, but also of our society. So anything we can do to support students is important. I want to add one more thing. You may not realize it, but we've used AI in One Petro and things for years. I mean, now we're not talking about ChatGPT but right now, that's how we got all of our papers, our past papers, into One Petro, was using AI. And the research portal on that you probably use when you're searching for papers is all driven by AI, because of keywords and search and things like that. So I think we're really on the cutting edge of it, and I think we continue to be there, and that's why we're talking about how do we employ further instances of that.
That's great. And as we know, as presidents, you guys have a huge impact on SPE International. So what are the changes that you personally would like to try to implement in SPE?
So going into my year as president, I had several goals. The first one is why I put together my podcast. and that was I want our student members to understand how to get the most out of their SP membership. I think it needs to be seen as a resource and a way to develop themselves professionally, and there's a tremendous amount of programs available. And the average member, and even myself, as I've been getting into it, I learn more and more about what I can use SP. So that's priority number one for me. The next priority was really I want to continue to support the sections and the chapters, because our sections and our chapters, they're the front lines, they're the kind of the grassroots, that's where most SP members, when they think of SPE, what do you think of SP, they're going to give you an answer about the local section. So anything we can do to continue to support the local section, of course the student chapters as well, is important. The third thing is I don't think we'll get to it this year, but I mean, I really would hope that once we get ourselves back in good financial footing, which I think we're very close, then I really would like to help our members give us a better image. So help our members with, beef up and improve Energy for Me. Energy for Me is a wonderful program, but it needs updating, and it's more for students to, and whatever. I want it to be as much for that, but as it is for us to be able to talk to our friends and neighbors. Because a lot of people ask me the same question. What can SP do to help our image? What can SP do to help bring more people in there? Well, SP can only do so much, but 127,000 members can make an impact. Yeah. So I would say those are my top three.
That's great.
I completely agree with the statements made here. We have with SPE, our student chapter at UH, we have been in contact with Paige McEwen, who runs the Energy for Me organization at SPE. She's going to be visiting with our students, and we are trying to work with her to collaborate to send our student chapter members to different high school in the Houston area.
Excellent.
That is what our plan is. So that is an area we are going to be working on. As you know, Houston is the fourth largest city in the country. So we have a tremendous opportunity to go to high schools here and not only advertise our program at UH, but for the SPE in general, our profession. And we will be utilizing the tools that Paige has for Energy for Me organization. So I think it's a great opportunity for our student members. And I must tell you, I'm so proud of our SPE student chapter members here. They work hard. They are completely devoted, and they consist of more members than what you see on this table. They are working behind the scene, and they are playing a very important role. I want to work very closely with them, and I want all of them to shine in our industry.
And by the way, if you haven't figured it out, you have a wonderful supporter and wonderful resource here. I think the world of Dr. Ithakor.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
I want also to add something that's very interesting. And Energy for Me is really important to give a picture for other people about the oil and gas industry. Because when I attended last year one of the conferences in Houston, the speaker mentioned me one object in this room is not made from petroleum. So all our usage starting from the day till the night, we are using petroleum product. It's really important that we need to deliver this message to our community, and we are trying to reach, as Dr. Thakur mentioned, we are trying to reach most of high school and do this talking about oil and gas industry and the role of petroleum engineering in our life. Yeah.
So I'd like to just point out, I think as you go, first of all, my congratulations for taking this on. I mean, I think it means so much more for people like yourselves to go into schools than people like myself. Because of my age, I mean, you guys can relate. But what I was going to say was, as you go in and you talk to them, I think one of the things that we need to really start keying on is not just how important it is. And I think it's very important that people understand that everything we do pretty much comes from oil and gas. What's more important, I think, though, is just how cool it is what we do.
Yeah.
I mean, talking about things like drilling a well a mile and a half of water and putting wellheads down in the bottom of this ocean floor. I mean, that's we are doing the equivalent of what NASA does on the moon. I mean,
Fantastic.
quite simply. And so they need to understand what we do is cool.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Really agree.
I think for that we need more exposure, and that's exactly what Dr. Tucker said, that we need to reach to the students, because a lot of times we talk about oil and gas, but people don't know. And they say like, oh, what does petroleum has to do with this? And then you have to explain it to them.
Right.
So again, like Dr. Tucker said, we need more exposure.
Right.
We need to reach to the students and the people. So,
Right.
we need
And
more of it.
but at the same time, I must congratulate all of you, especially on the board serving here at the student chapter. You put in your extra time. We appreciate it. But this gives you an opportunity to develop your leadership skills. So when you go to work, it's not only how good you are in math or science or engineering, is how do you relate to with people? How do you work in a team environment? How do you collaborate? How do you communicate verbally and in writing? And we do make mistakes, but don't worry about making mistakes. Keep learning from it and keep improving yourself. And participate in this student paper contest. Participate in these kind of Petro Ball programs. You know, winning is important. But I think, in my opinion, anytime you participate in things, you are already a winner. It's just a matter of time. You are going to win. And even if we fail, we don't need to worry about it. We just need to dust off and say, okay, I'm going to try again. And keep doing like this. You will shine. You will develop your leadership skills and take a very active role in the SP student chapter, running it, communicating with the Gulf Coast section. You may not realize, but this is the largest section perhaps in the whole world. Right here, Gulf Coast. Maybe Aramco's section.
Unfortunately for them.
But that's fine.
But it's a nice little healthy competition.
That's right.
Yeah,
it's a very healthy competition. So you are basically in a gold mine for the SP organization right here. And the knowledge base that we have in Houston, this is the center of universe for the oil and gas business, petroleum business. There is no doubt about it. So take advantage of it, keep working hard, and you will shine. There is no doubt about it.
Yeah, and of course, we're in the capital energy of the world.
Yeah.
So, and I guess that's one of the last questions that I wanted to ask. What message would you like to share for students watching this video? Not only petroleum or oil and gas related, but mostly like every single engineer, and not even engineer majors, that they can still become members from SPE, because they can all actually active work at an oil and gas company. They're all needed. Any major is needed. So any words for them?
Sure. So look, obviously, petroleum engineers are very well suited and very well educated for what we're asking them to do. But we, as you well know, hire many other forms of engineers and technicians and what have you, partly out of necessity. What I'm trying to say is that we need more petroleum engineers, and I know that the University of Houston would certainly take more engineering students. But yes, we are a technical industry, and we do some really fun and cool things. We're on cutting edge of a lot of different technologies. It takes a lot of different disciplines to help move ahead. I saw in your meeting room you had a picture of the Drobotics logo. I mean, Drobotics is just the best example of a program where we're combining the expertise of not just petroleum engineers and what have you, but you have to computer science and everything else. And so, as I said before, it's going to take all of us to collaborate together, inside and outside of our industry and inside and outside of our discipline, if we want to solve the challenges of the future. So, yes, we welcome all engineers. We welcome anybody who is interested in trying to power the world and deliver the energy needs that we need.
Yeah. We need engineers. We need scientists. We need people with business majors. We need people with law degrees. We need people with humanities and liberal arts background. In the oil and gas business, in the petroleum business, because when we go to work, we work with a variety of people, and we communicate with a variety of people. So my request to all the students students of the University of Houston, not only in petroleum engineering, but all forms of engineering, science, even business majors, to participate in these activities. Become student members. You can take advantage of all of these opportunities that you have. And just like Dr. Christine pointed out today, is going to the luncheon sessions, going to the study groups. We have like 8 or 10 different study groups here in Houston. There is something going on every week in Houston. It is so active here, and we participate. And I do know that you need some financial help, and it is our job is to make sure that that kind of financial help is available to the student members. That is our responsibility. And you are also very good and very active in fundraising. You have a variety of activities here. They hold golf competition here. They hold different types of events here to raise funds. And our student members are doing an outstanding job. And they are learning how to manage an organization. Exactly. They write reports, they communicate, they present their financial things. And yeah, we are not perfect, we are learning. But that's okay. You are still a student, and that is our job. So I'm just delighted, and your involvement with Energy for Me, with the high school students in the Houston and neighboring areas is going to have a world-class impact. I think it will be a great thing for you to do. Thank you and congratulations, and keep doing the good work.
I echo that for sure.
Well, and thank you for both of you to be here with us today. And I guess that's it.